What's going on, you guys? Just to conclude the video here, I wanted to answer some questions that I usually get about a sewing machine. First of all, just to go back to it, I have a Juki DNU 1541S made in Japan. I think you can find these. You can find these online. You can find them, member places. The freight is really expensive, so I would suggest going somewhere local if you have a local shop nearby or something like that, because it is really expensive. I had an 8-ton presser, 8-ton press delivered to me from Weaver Leather, and the machine is, it's pricey. It's about 1,400 or something like that, and it was expensive to ship and all that stuff, and it's really heavy. Not as heavy as like a 10-ton electric, but anyway, these things can be really heavy too. So the heads come off. You can either buy the head and the table separately. You can find a head online. That'll be really heavy too, but at least it won't come in a big pallet. And maybe get a servo motor and a table locally, or you can always find these on eBay. This machine has a speed reducer, so you can adjust the speed. It's a servo motor, like I said. It's really quiet. Doesn't require any fancy setup with the electrical or anything. Just plugs right in and goes. And again, I just wanted to touch on this again. Having the right combination of needle, thread, all that stuff is really important, and knowing what kind of projects you're going to be doing. If you're going to be doing some really thick leather, I would suggest another type of machine. You'd really have to look into it and do a lot of research. I did a lot of research before I got this one. It was offered to me from a friend that was making boxing gloves, and he no longer needed it, because I guess he abandoned that idea. So it was brand new, and he sold it to me for about $1,000. And these things usually retail for, 15, $2,000 brand new. I think he just wanted to get rid of it. Again, just do a lot of research. And in this case, I'm doing a leather project that's about 4-ounce, 3-ounce leather projects. They're not really that thick. They're wallets. I avoided using a machine for a long time because I just wasn't getting the results that I wanted to get on a machine. And so I hand stitch my wallets, and I'm moving over to machine stitching certain wallets now. It saves you a lot of time, but you also want to make sure that it looks good. I think one of the common complaints about a machine is that you don't get that back stitch, and you don't get as strong a stitch as if you were to hand stitch it. And I get that. Those two are big, they're valid points. Also, the track marks, right? Every time you use a machine, you can tell some makers have horrible track marks on their leather, and it's really hard to get rid of, and it's really hard to adjust for that. But I think if you get the right machine, you use the right leather, you can totally avoid all that. So I machine stitched this wallet here. Aside from the decorative crease I put aside of the wallet, that was intentional. There are no presser foot marks on this leather. If there were a little bit when I got to this point right here, and I just took them out with the bone folder. That's it. I mean, I don't really get a lot of presser foot marks on my stuff anymore, because I've managed to tune the machine up the way I want. And what's most important is that when you hit these certain areas where it overlaps, I don't get them there that much either. So, and also Pueblo leather is very forgiving, and I use it for a lot of interior, not only because it looks beautiful and it feels great, but it's also really easy to work with. So this is the back stitch of my machine stitch project right here. Okay, and this is the front. So no presser foot marks on it. The stitch came out pretty clean, and I would recommend going with something going with something like this, going with something like this Juki 1541. Now, if I were to get another machine, I love this machine. I use it almost every day. I would get a Texo 4800. It's a cylinder arm machine, and the only reason I'd get that machine is simple. It's a cylinder arm. You can do a lot more with it. So you can do gussets, hard to reach places, and I think it comes with a little table attachment to give you a flat surface. Because sometimes you really need that flat surface. And in this case, doing these wallets, I'm going to keep using this machine if I do some bifold wallets. But if I do bags or things I need a hard to reach to access a hard to reach place on the project, that's a great machine to get. I used to have a cylinder machine. It wasn't the right fit for me, so I sold it. But I know that the 4800 is a machine I've done a lot of research, I've been doing a lot of reading on it, and I know for a fact that machine would work for me because I know the projects that I'm doing, and machine would be ideal. So again, just do a lot of research, you guys. If you have any questions in the comments, let me know. I'm going to do a video about one specific thing that I see with this wallet that I don't like, and I started doing this about a month ago, and I started ending my projects with a hand stitch instead of overlapping with the machine and having this grouping or this little bunching of a thread. I started ending them with leaving enough thread when I'm done with the project on the machine, and then taking it to my workbench and hand stitching the last 2 or 3 stitches, and then you get a much cleaner look. It's really it's a real game changer for a machine stitch wallet. So I think I'm going to make a separate video on that, so look out for that. Anyways, you guys, if you have any questions about this sewing machine, leave them in the comments down below. Until next time, take care. See you later.